Minimum wage started in 1938. Minimum wage is a rising issue in today's economy. Should it be raised? If the minimum wage is raised, then the cost of goods would have to also raise. As shown in this graph from the University of Berkeley, the reason that the cost of goods will raise is because in order for companies to pay their workers more, they must make more money. Also, companies will hire less workers if the minimum wage is raised in order to make more profit. This will cause people to get fired and there will be less jobs available. Let's go around the school for some opinions.
Grandma?
Stop, don't talk to me, loser, lame, I wanna be like, oh, totally.
Can you state your name and what you do?
My name's Caleb. I work at McDonald's.
I'm loving it.
Brent Lieback, principal of Sheridan High School, and proud of it, I might add.
My name is Brenda White. I'm a counselor at Sheridan High School, and then I also am part owner in a ranch in southwestern South Dakota.
I'm Willie, and I'm a dishwasher at the Shabby Shack Cafe.
Do you feel that minimum wage is too high or too low?
I believe minimum wage is supposed to be a stepping stone to a better job, so to say that it's too high or too low, I think is a difficult question to answer.
I honestly think that it's too high, but in Wyoming, it's too low.
It's too low.
Well, that's a great question, because here's the two sides, and I'm sure this is what you're looking at. When you set it too high, quote, whatever that mark would be, you'll get from small businesses, and I think it's a legitimate statement from businesses, that prices them out of the market. So they're trying to produce products and they're trying to sell their products to make money. If the workforce gets too expensive, if you will, then they end up laying people off. When you set it too low, you have a situation where people really can't, in today's world, make a living. You know, when you stop and think about a $10 an hour wage or whatever that, whatever you want to set the minimum wage at, doesn't matter. When you think about what it costs anymore to rent or to go to a grocery store or to put gas in your car, what's happened, if you look at it, I think, is that the minimum wage rate of increase, as if nothing else, just kept up with the consumer price index, which is the amount of money that it costs to live. So even though the minimum wage has gone up, the question is, has it gone up enough to actually allow people to make money? You know, our goal here at some point is to make money, save money. As college comes in front of you two, all the things are going to happen out there as far as expense goes. So, it's a real, I think it's a real situation for businesses to be in, where they want to hire people, but they also know that when their expenses get too high, it cuts their costs for making money. So I've always supported where, when you think about the minimum wage and you think about people living out there as far as how they go about making an income, it has to correlate, and they've done some of this with the tax structure. But there's no reason why people who are making minimum wage are turning around and also having to pay personal income taxes. So there's got to be some scale there where if you are on a minimum wage salary, there should be other quote-unquote benefits to offset your loss. Because you're not going to you just can't make a lot of money on minimum wage. I don't care who you are, I don't care where you are in this country. That's just a difficult thing to do. So what is it that can be done for those folks who are trying? And this is the thing, too, that I get a little bit crazy about sometimes. I think everyone out there should either be working, going to school, serving in the military, doing something productive. I have a real difficult time with people who simply are unemployed and choose to be unemployed. So these people who are working for a minimum wage, I think there ought to be something there that we reward them with. Sometimes minimum wage is where they're at. It's where they're at in society. It's what they can do. It's where they're at, period. So they're trying. They're trying to make a living for their family and for themselves. So I think there should always have been, at least in my place, some of these components that could help those people make it in the long run. The people who choose not to work and who simply go, you know what, I'm going to live off of the government and I could care less if I look for a job or whatever, I don't have a lot of patience for that. I mean, I think we should all be out there trying to accomplish something. So back to your original question, a long way around this thing. I don't know what the minimum wage should be. I just know that you have this group over here that's saying if you get that minimum wage too high, we'll actually end up reducing the workforce because we won't be able to afford paying for those people. That's a very legitimate concept. I think we all understand that, especially small businesses. They are tight trying to receive a profit, so they can't continue to do that. You put it too low, yeah, you get to hire a bunch of people, but guess what? These people are on welfare. They can't make it work. So wherever that equilibrium price is, wherever that balance is, as far as what actually works for people, and then putting together some other packages for those people, I think that's your answer.
Do you think that people can live on today's minimum wage?
No.
You don't think so?
They can live on today's minimum wage, but the question becomes the quality of that life. So I think we can all live, we can all function, we can all live in a river down by the van, or a van down by the river.
In a van down by the river.
I mean, we can all live. I got a fifth wheel trailer. I could live in that thing if I chose to live there. But so I don't think I'm not sure it's a fair question. Not that I think your question's unfair, but I don't think it's a fair question to ask people out there, can you live on a minimum wage? We can. You guys are going to find out, especially if you go to college. You can live on minimum amounts of money and have a great time doing it. But the question becomes, where are you headed with that? How much money can you put away for maybe your child's college education, or maybe to buy that house, or to maybe, I think what it causes us to do, and it's a never-ending cycle, is that when you're on those low salary, and when you're on that kind of platform, then what you end up doing is you end up getting into the debt world because you borrow money. I got to borrow money to buy a car. I got to borrow money to buy a house. I got to borrow money for my child's college education. So one way or the other, it all comes back around to you. So I think there's the question is, what is a minimum wage salary that we can live with?
I don't think minimum wage is supposed to be a livable salary. Again, I think it's supposed to be a stepping stone job so that you work towards getting yourself better and getting a better job. Minimum wage jobs, in my opinion, are supposed to be for your entry-level positions.
Do you think that if minimum wage was raised, do you think that the cost of goods would also rise?
Yeah, it would make sense. To cover labor costs and stuff like that.
Well, you've studied a little economics, and you know how that works. And I think what they're always looking at with the laws of supply and demand, and then the equilibrium price as far as where you can set the price and make the most money, so that you can still have the demand stay high and your supply can reach that. But I guess in a short answer to your question, I think that's very likely what happened. I mean, if I'm out there and I'm a business person and I know that people have more money to spend, I'm crazy not to sit back and go, if I could raise this thing by $1 or $10 or $100, whatever the item is, and if I know people have the money to spend that and they want my item, I think that's poor capitalism if you don't do some of that. I look at what's happened with this whole Nintendo Switch move, where whoever was in charge of manufacturing those products, they've just cost the Nintendo company millions of dollars because they didn't understand the laws of supply and demand. And there's people out there wanting to buy these things all over the country, and there's none of them out there. So I think you always look at that and go, where are we at with the price of products? What do we understand about the capital of people and where they're at? And when that starts to rise and people's income starts to go up, what usually happens with prices? They go up as well. There's a new equilibrium price that gets established. I wish it would work the other way. When they know people's income's going down, what usually happens to these products? They stay the same. Or they might drop a little bit, but they don't vary as much as when they both go up together. That's capitalism. I mean, that's the way it is. And we love it. I wouldn't want it any other way. I am completely opposed to the government getting involved in the market. It drives me crazy. I mean, especially to the point where we're encouraging people not to work, or we're encouraging people to just basically step back and get these government take care of. I think that's a wrong message to send.
Yes, I do. Think about going to McDonald's.
I'm loving it.
Right now, if you go through the drive-thru and get a hamburger and a soda and french fries, a lot of times it's already $10. And a lot of times you can go to sit-down restaurants and get a meal that's that same price. If you increase the minimum wage, pretty soon your supposed to be cheap and easy food is going to be as expensive as a sit-down restaurant.
I would.
Minimum wage is a controversial topic with people who have varying opinions on the matter. Obviously, something has to be done about it. Thanks to everyone who participated in our project.
Started.
Zombie on the track.
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now the